Jordan, a place of open heaven. 2 Kings chapter 2 verse 16. Matthew chapter 3 verse 16.
Spirit, lead me where my trust is without borders. Let me walk upon the waters wherever you would call me. Take me deeper than my feet could ever wander, and my faith would be made stronger in the presence of my Savior.
Jordan. Beautiful experience. My name is Nathaniel. It's a beautiful experience going to Jordan, being led by Prophet Taiwo Abel Ojo. And also I can say that UfitFly, being given the grace to lift this much number of persons, being on the Guinness World Book of Record, I can say there is no private organization that has actually had 1,500 persons in one pilgrimage trip at the same time.
Without borders, let me walk upon the waters wherever you would call me.
For some of us, this program started way before now. It started sometimes around last year when we first had the opportunity to meet the prophet of God, Baba Taiwo. And then when Baba told us that he will be traveling with over 1,000 people to the kingdom of Jordan, that was the beginning of the pilgrimage for some of us. A lot of thoughts were setting in. Will it be possible? Can it ever happen? How do we go about it? And since then, we have been putting resources together, a lot of preparations, so many sleepless nights, till we eventually go for the program. And like I said, a pilgrimage with over 1,000 people lifting up their voices at the same time in the kingdom of Jordan to praise Yahweh. That is the biggest that has ever happened in the land of Jordan, led by a Nigerian.
My name is Ademola Adetuji. I'm one of those people that led our pilgrims to the kingdom of Jordan. It was actually a very wonderful experience, though very, very tiring, very stressful, but the success of the trip made it worthwhile.
Fantastic things I enjoyed in Jordan. Spiritually, it was empowering, it was engaging for me. There were some of the prayers that man was calling, and then it was really sinking with what I needed in my life. And I can tell you for a fact, I began to see even the result of answered prayer even before we left Jordan.
In the name of Jesus, I bring you out from the room of achieve. In the name of Jesus. Amen.
So these are fantastic things I want to talk about Jordan, to also encourage you.
Well, I want to say this. If UfitFly can do this, this is what we have done that no other organization has ever done. I can tell you that. Check it anywhere. In Nigeria, in Africa, I have not seen, it has not been heard of any organization going on pilgrimage with 1,500 pilgrims. It has never been done.
My soul will rest in your embrace. I am yours, and you are mine.
You are God, oh, be me. You are God, oh, be me.
Jọ́dánì ó jẹ́ bí mọ́lẹ̀ gbàgbé níbi tí àwọn akọni ti nípa tí a bá wò láti Genesis dé Revelation a rí pé ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ìtàn Bíbélì tí a ò bá dé Jọ́dánì a rí pé kò kún tó tí ó bá jẹ́ ìránṣẹ́ Ọlọ́run tó ọ̀ka gbogbo theology ó ní láti lọ sí Jọ́dánì. Jọ́dánì jẹ́ ibi tí èèyàn ti ń bá Ọlọ́run pàdé, ó jẹ́ ibi tí ayé èèyàn ti máa ń yí padà. A rí pé nígbà tí wọ́n jáde ní Egypt tí wọ́n la òkun pupa jáde wọ́n gba ibìkan tí wọ́n pè ní King's Highway ni àti yorùkọ Abraham padà kàṣọ di Abraham. Láti gbà yé mi tí mi lọ Jọ́dánì ayé mi ò dúró sójú kan.
Ọba adákẹ́dájọ́, ọba olùdáàbò mi.
Mósè ibi tó parí iṣẹ́ ìránṣẹ́ rẹ̀ sí á láǹfààní láti dé gbogbo wọ̀nyí. Èmi náà débẹ̀ pẹ̀lú ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn ọmọ Ọlọ́run. In fact tí Ọlọ́run bá fún wa ní agbára a ní láti lọ sí Jọ́dánì, ó ṣe pàtàkì gan. Mo rọ gbogbo àwọn ọ̀dọ́ bíi èmi tí wọ́n fẹ́ gòkè láyé tí àwọn náà fẹ́ jẹ́ èèyàn. Owó tá a fi ń ṣọmọ ń gbòòrò yẹn mo rọ̀ wá ẹja lọ fún ilẹ̀ mímọ́ Jọ́dánì. Àti nígbà tí mo ti lọ àwọn nǹkan ọ̀tun tí ò ṣẹlẹ̀ nínú ayé mi ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀. Mo máa ń sọ fáwọn èèyàn kó fún mi ní Amẹ́ríkà kó fún mi ní àwọn òfin kan, mo prefer láti lọ sí ilẹ̀ mímọ́ torí kò sí bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn ó ṣe lọ sí ilẹ̀ mímọ́ táyé yẹn ò ní change. Most àwọn people lọ́wọ́ wá láti Canada l'Amẹ́ríkà gbogbo ẹ̀wọ̀n ti rí ṣùgbọ́n wọ́n wò pé nǹkan kan ó kùnà ayé àwọn táwọn nílò. Gbìyànjú láti bá UfitFly rìn o, àwọn lè ṣe o.
I learned a lot of things from this man. I've learned that, yes, as much as you're being spiritual, you also need to be hardworking. And I see this example so well in this man. In terms of humility, this man is humble to the core. In terms of being responsive and responsible, I give this man 100%. This man will not ignore the cry of anybody. He's not about like, oh, I have thousands of worshippers or crowd. Yes, he was listening to you. He gave everybody a listening ear. Imagine him alone, single-handedly counsel and pray for everybody individually in the course of this journey.
Those
of you that have not visited your hotel,
even if
it's possible for me to just visit and pray and come.
No.
We were told not to come here, but no, I'll visit you myself.
I was there live and I witnessed Baba himself single-handedly baptized over 800 pilgrims. You can just imagine. And you know, you at that same spot where Jesus Christ was baptized, it gives you a kind of, it brings to your memory or a kind of visual show. You begin to visualize the ministration of John the Baptist. Like, wow, so this is what John the Baptist was doing. This is how people troop in to be baptized in the hand of John the Baptist. So you just begin to feel it like in the days of old. And imagine this man too, single-handedly baptizing that numbers of people in a single day.
One of my particular testimony was during the baptism at the River Jordan. I met a lot of people that came out from that water with testimony, because the miracles that happened at that river still happens till today. Instant miracle, instant blessing.
I was just wondering, the kingdom of Jordan is such a beautiful country, because by the time we are going, whenever we are going out, you see mountains, hills, you know. Even when we drive, I used to have this fear. Most times I don't like sitting in front of the bus because you will see a very steep and sharp bend on mountains. You know, you just be climbing, and people will just be shouting. You know, that was actually the fun of it, because the country has narrow roads, but at the same time, those roads are not straight road. You know, I think because the country is a mountainous country, so they have to just navigate their ways in between the mountains. Those are the fun of it. And besides, the people, the Jordanians are very, very friendly. They are friendly. They like our passion. At times, whenever we are doing our thing in the hall, maybe when the prophet is ministering, we are singing and dancing. You see these people coming down, take our pictures, laugh, and they dance with us as well.
Well, it was amazing, right? But then it had its ups and downs. It was full of stress, trust me. I mean, the first 3-4 nights after I got there was no sleep. I won't say there was barely sleep. There was no sleep. Because I particularly had to manage 2 hotels. Yes, I had help. I had my colleagues around, but I had to manage 2 hotels with about 500 people.
The experience we've had in UfitFly, we prepared for everything, both the seen and the unforeseen. I'll talk about one of the areas that I managed in terms of health. We did operation for about 4 or 5 people, I guess, in Jordan. And I can say everything went successfully.
I'm convinced, because one thing I thank God for is we had no casualty. Imagine a situation whereby over 1,500 people were on pilgrimage, we were traveling here and there, and no casualty.
Pilgrimage tourism. We toured some sites, and in Jordan, there were places that I could not have imagined. Look at the Dead Sea, for example. The Dead Sea, the lowest point on earth, that nothing sinks, nothing lives inside that water. It was a very, very wow experience for me, taking the mud, taking some of the water, and then to freshen up my skin, to make myself, look, to have a supple kind of skin and all that. So I enjoyed that too. And there were places that we were traveling, and it was so steepy that it was as if the buses will topple. Like they will flip over, like they will turn, and all those were wonderful experiences I would not have had in Nigeria if I stayed back.
And the spiritual intervention too was beautiful. The spiritual part of this exercise, that was like the aim of this entire thing, right? To have a one-on-one encounter with God. As much as I stated that I didn't have enough time on this particular pilgrimage, trust me, every point in time when I got to pray, or when I was able to join in the prayer sessions, it was beautiful. We all know Prophet Ojo. He doesn't relent when it comes to prayers. He doesn't relent when it comes to his programs. And it was amazing. People got absolute value for what they paid for. People were really happy because they had that one-on-one encounter with God and one-on-one encounter with Prophet Ojo. And all this was possible through God and through UfitFly, the #1 destination management company in Nigeria for now, in the world very soon.
I would like to say a very big shout out to one of the team leads that I have, John Park. He really tried, he gave it his best and all. I want to say thank you to Mr. Femi and everyone that led the team.
Though we have some difficulties, that is the truth. A situation whereby you are leading a group of 1,500 people from different backgrounds, people from different races, people from different countries are coming together to spend time together. We have to settle a whole lot of differences, the way people talk and react to one another. But at the end of the day, I'm convinced, because one thing I thank God for is we had no casualty.